I certainly am not going to stop smiling, at least until Monday. That was a really exciting win. I'm so happy for our players that they were able to execute a game plan that was, much different than how we normally play. And just, how bought in they are, how resilient they are, when we're down in the fourth quarter, and just their wherewithal to come back and to believe that they were going to win against a very good team. And credit Stony Brook and Coach Langford has done a tremendous job as a first-year head coach. I mean, very difficult situation, following a championship team, having veteran players that have had a lot of success, still setting them up for success. She's done a great job with that, and then having to manage players that are finding out that they can't compete for a championship and for the tournament and automatic bid. That must be very difficult, and she's certainly done a tremendous job. And so winning that game on our home floor really solidifies that we can play with anybody in the league and we can compete to win. And very frustrated about the loss to Maine, but it's in the past. And now being able to have that type of victory and win in that type of way, coming back, winning a close game, executing down the stretch, making big plays, making big shots to win. We made big shots against Maine, but it was kind of already out of reach at that point. It certainly is the type of game that it felt like a championship game, but it really prepares you for the tournament. And we really wanted to feel good about, solidifying that, the first round and second round on our home court, but just feeling really good about how we were playing going into the tournament.
Hey Coach, what did you think what is one of the major things that you did in your vision that you did to come back in fourth quarter in that game?
I think we just got stops. I mean, our players got stops. We were trying, I went much away from, our traditional motion offense. We were trying to run a lot more quick hits, because they clogged the paint so much, and there was no time to go side to side and set screens, and we really needed to be more aggressive and be more in an attack mode. We were trying to run some things, in transition, but it was really just, they had 20 turnovers. That's very unlike Stony Brook. They take care of the ball, and our defense, our zone really made them off balance. They struggled to score. They couldn't get in a rhythm. Other than the third quarter, when we went back to our actual usual defense, is when they really scored. But I think that's just really kept them off balance.
Right.
Could you walk us through kind of that final offensive play, the unbalanced play, and just what you're looking for in that spot?
Yeah, we ran the play and we got to run it twice, which was really cool because without a timeout. So I got to see. Typically, we run a similar. There's two plays that are essentially similar, but this one happens to have a screen in it. And I noticed that they switched the screen the first time, and we were saying, go inside, and then it got tipped out. We tried to go with Ellen, but it was low, like the ball was lower, so we didn't have like the angles. And then when it got tipped out and the ball went out higher, she had more vision to make the play, and Meg was yelling like inside. They switched it again, and we were able to. Grace made a perfect pass and for a layup, and we knew we needed a quick two, and it was just getting that turnover at the other end, because we weren't going to foul, and then Kayla fouled with 3 seconds left, and then that being able to get those steals and get that tip out and that turnover. That really was, the defense was what gave us the confidence to get that score.
If I could just follow up on that real quick, but just Stony Brook had fouls to give, and they were clearly going to be giving them. Did that affect at all kind of what you wanted to call in that spot? Because obviously if you pass it in and dribble around, they're going to just take time off.
Right, so there was 19 seconds, I believe, or 16, and I didn't want to dribble. I didn't want to run a play. We had to, when we couldn't get it in, we ran the play. We ran like a middle ball screen play because that was the safe entry, and they fouled us. And so, it was like, oh no, we really wanted to go quickly without dribbling to get it for a shot. So we were hoping to go, with one pass in. But yeah, it was a strategy that luckily we were able to execute. And this is something like with fouls to give too. We've struggled in the past and learning how to play and do that with fouls. Think back to our Cornell loss. Had we fouled, we would have won the game, and we didn't foul, and we learned from that, and we practiced that a lot from that game, and it just shows you, how important it is. Every game you learn something.
With being a great team like Stony Brook in your confidence, how much confidence do you have going forward into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, Stony Brook is so talented in every position. They have a great inside-out presence, but beating a team that has over 20 wins, I mean, in general, it's like, that's really great. I mean, it's a huge confidence booster, but to also just, be able to bounce back after a tough loss to Maine, where we really, the players really wanted to get that one. We were undefeated at home. You can't help but feel a little defeated, and they just focused in practice. They turned it around, and that confidence, that win, is really what we need to feel good about where we're at as we have a week of practice and going into the tournament.
Allie?
Your team grew up today, big time. Was there a moment in the game that happened? Like you saw it in the huddle or something like that?
Yeah, I think at the end of the game, because, when we were down 16, there was no long faces, there was no bad body language, there wasn't like, hey, we got this, and everybody's kind of slouching. There was no defeated look. Everybody still believed we were going to win. We talked about we're going to win the game. And, all year long, we've had goals, and those goals, you have to believe in them to be able to achieve them. And we just kept saying we're gonna win today, and that's why their body language never changed. And I said it's 16 points, but you can't. There's no 16-point play. You just got to get stop, score, stop. So we just kept talking about stop, score, stop. They kept that, maintained that. But then watching them in the last 20 seconds of the defense when they were doing reviews, and we were in the huddles, none of them were like, nobody was nervous or sped up or acting frazzled. Everybody was just locked in, nodding, listening. Meg was going over different plays they could be running. They're locked in, they're focusing, they're talking about what they need to do in the strategy, and that hasn't always been it. A lot of times in the past they've been looking at me to tell them exactly how to feel and what to do, or oh, we haven't been here, what do we do? And they really believed in each other.
I have a follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats on the 20-win season.
Thank
That's
you.
always a big deal. If you could talk to the Capital Region about supporting this team, what would you say?
I thought, we had, the crowd today got a really good game, and, having a big crowd here is just so amazing for the student athletes, that experience. And the Capital Region, women's basketball is a lot of fun, and we play a great style of basketball with players on our team that are great representatives of the university. They're terrific role models for, bringing your kids to the games, adults. They play the game the right way with sportsmanship, but we need support. We need people to come to our games. We need them to see and support a really successful team that's, worked really hard for the last 3 years to get to this point, and, and it's fun and exciting, and everybody got their money's worth today, so.
Sean?
Coach, there's a viral video clip of the late Kobe Bryant. The media asked, just to give you a little context, the media asked him after a big playoff win, how did he feel? And Kobe Bryant responded, job not done yet. This is a great moment for the team. How do you take this, absorb it, but then put it behind you and look at your team and say, the job's not done yet?
Yeah, and that's great, and I love that quote, and Kobe Bryant is an amazing person, and he's sorely missed. And we've been talking about him a lot, actually, in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, that you can't be satisfied. This can't be the peak. It's the end of the regular season, and yeah, we had our preseason, we had our scrimmages, then we have our season, and now we're into our third season, and it's 0-0. Everything's it's a clean slate, and we have the opportunity to not come in second, but come in first. So if we want to do that, we have to continue to learn just in a win. But you're down 16 points. There's a lot to learn from, right? So we want to continue to have that growth mindset, and that's what I talked to them about after the Maine loss. I said it doesn't matter. Obviously, we want to win. We want to beat Stony Brook, but it's not about the win. It's about how do we feel like we are playing going into the tournament, because that's what matters. We all want to go to the NCAA tournament. This is how we get there. We have to win our tournament, and it's survive in advance. So yeah, job not done.
How much is when your players are gonna say we're ready for like right now and then stay tomorrow? But as a coach, especially after seeing with COVID and everything, sometimes you got cancel, you're playing within 24 hours the next game. How much do you think like your players need this rest, or how beneficial is it going to be them to get the rest so that can make this postseason run?
Yeah, they need rest. We've been having a crazy schedule with Monday, Wednesday, Friday games, and Monday, Wednesday, Saturday games, and no rest. And Thursday's kind of off, but they've got class. They need rest. They need fresh legs. So we really got to focus on, how we're going to monitor that and how we're going to set up practices so that we get we have fresh legs. Because you can't make shots if you don't have fresh legs.
Kind of a difficult question to answer, but you guys were down 16 in the fourth quarter, and I'm thinking this is going to be kind of a long week ahead of this team. How different do you feel like your next week now can be? That not only you win, but you win in a certain fashion, in kind of grand comeback fashion.
Well, my Sunday's going to be a lot happier, number one. But I think it's my job as a leader to respond the same way in a win that I would in a loss, and that's never an easy thing, just like for a player to, handle winning and losing. You have to kind of compose yourself and get yourself together and learn, because we do need to learn from this game, because there's things that we need to be better at, and I'm glad we get to learn them in a win instead of a loss. So yes, the week's going to look better because there's going to be a lot more smiles, and it's just going to have overall a better feeling just going into Monday, but it's going to be business as usual, just if it was a win or just if it was a loss. It's the same thing, and that's the consistency that the players need, and that they need to know that that they would be, if we lost, they'd be worried about going in on Monday. What is she going to say? Or you don't want to be that as a coach. You want them to go in on Monday saying, oh, we know how coach is going to be. We know what she's going to be focused in on. And I think that's it's not always easy as a coach to do that, but that's what you need to do as a leader for them to follow that consistency.
Okay.
I'm good.
Anyone else?
Thanks, guys.